Yeah, it's been going well. I mean, we've been working together now for about 5 or 6 months, and yeah, we obviously know each other better and have a better understanding of the things that you need to work on in my game. And yeah, it's worked well so far, and I've felt good. Since I started this season, had a good training block in the off season as well, and it's gone well.
I saw a bit of band-aid on your shoulder. You mentioned the other night after the match it's coming on okay. You're feeling pretty much injury-free at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much an injury. It's I think when you start playing again after a while, things tend to hurt a little bit, and I was just a bit stiff and sore and a little bit uncomfortable. And I did quite a bit of travelling with coming from Abu Dhabi over to here, and without too much time to get used to conditions and sort of recover from the travel and stuff. So it's just a little bit stiff and sore, and yeah, hopefully in a few days it'll be fine.
Andy, how are you feeling this year in comparison to this stage last year, heading into the Aussie summer season?
Yeah, well, obviously I feel much better this year. I came in quite sort of apprehensive last year, and there's maybe didn't have so much pressure on me coming back from a surgery, but mentally it was quite a tough time for me. I'd never come back from a surgery before, and I didn't know how I was going to respond, how my back was going to respond when I started playing matches, against the best players in the world over 5 sets at the Aussie Open. So it was tough, and I actually played quite well there, but it was mentally, the build up to it was quite challenging. And I have much better preparation this year. My body feels much better, so that's a good sign.
Andy, we know that you've carried the weight of your nation for many years. Leighton Hewitt's done that here in Australia, but we've got a new wave of players that we're getting excited about, Kokonakis and Kyrgios and Tom Hecker. What are your thoughts on the state of Australia's next generation of tennis players coming through?
Yeah, I mean, I know on the men's side, it's obviously very strong. I mean, the guys you mentioned are, fantastic talents, and the players are developing a bit later these days, sort of playing their best tennis a bit later. So I think it's important that there's not too much pressure put on those guys the next few years, that they're given time to develop, and mature. But they're all nice guys. I get on well with each of them, and yeah, I hope they all do well. On the women's side, I don't know so much. Obviously, the Kyrgios, Kokonakis, Tomic, they've been making a lot of the headlines lately. But on the women's side, I don't know so much.
And you touched on developing players just then. I mean, these young kids, hotshot tennis might be the future of Australian tennis. You're pleased to be involved with kids and putting something back into it?
Yeah, well, a lot of the events we do. We do as much stuff with the kids as possible, just hitting a few balls with them and doing little clinics. Obviously, we can't necessarily make a huge difference in just a couple of minutes, but if it helps, I don't know, inspire them or give them a little bit more enjoyment in the game, then that's great. But they seem to be doing a good job in Australia just now, and yeah, hope they can keep that up.
What do you make of modified equipment for kids, mini nets and softballs?
I think it depends on each individual, really. I don't like the idea of sort of forcing kids to play with a certain ball or a certain net. Sometimes it's necessary. Some kids sometimes are too small to play with bigger rackets or with the proper tennis balls, because they bounce much higher. It's a lot more difficult to control. So I just think you have to deal with each case kind of individually, and I'm not against them. I just don't think it works for everybody.
Andy, on your game yesterday, when you played Jersey, you went on a 9-game run and barely missed a point. And
Yeah.
You're still very hard on yourself. But is the intensity of your own belief something you've been working on off season?
Well, I think it's just that at the beginning of the year, it's something that when you haven't played matches for a while, you want to make sure that when you go ahead in matches that you finish them off, and you don't let your opponents get back in those sort of lapses in concentration, and especially in the major events over 5 sets, it can take a lot of energy away from you. So it's important when you get the chance to finish the matches off as quickly as possible, and that's what I wanted to try and do yesterday.
Andy, tomorrow night, it's going to be a big one here. They reckon it's going to be a full house, Great Britain, Australia, and you'll be up against Marinko.
Yeah.
Have you had much experience with him in the past?
Yeah, I know Marinko well. I've practiced with him a bunch of times, and hang out with him around the tournaments a little bit. He's a fun guy. You know, he speaks his mind, and yeah, he's good fun to be around.
Do you expect a colourful match tomorrow night?
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
Andy, over the years, you've had different ways of coming to Australia. So last year you played in Qatar. Do you think that the Hopman Cup is very good preparation for Australia, especially now it's outdoors?
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I think that helps for sure. Playing outdoors makes a big difference. It's a great venue. The course is fantastic. Very similar conditions to Melbourne, which is good. I mean, everyone prepares in different ways. I just feel like when I've got to Australia earlier, it's made a difference. Getting used to this sort of heat, you don't get that in Doha or in any of the other events this week. So at Brisbane, when I played there as well, I enjoyed Brisbane too. It sometimes feels a little bit like it's indoors. But they put on a great tournament there as well. So I feel like I played my best in Australia when I got here early.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks very
Thank you.
much.